So once again, Hoop fans, Lori Shepard coming to you.
We're going to talk a lot about fantasy football rankings. I want to give the biggest shout out to high school sports.
Belly cut the defender, hits the ball, and it falls at the buzzer!
Here we go. Welcome in.
Welcome.
To Hump Day Wednesday of 4 quarters. It's the first week in 3 weeks that we've done
Two shows. Yeah.
And I was afraid we weren't going to have much to talk about, but there's a lot happening right now.
A lot. Breaking news everywhere.
Breaking news everywhere. Obviously, this show is being brought to you by Fly on the Wall Productions. Also available on the 4 Quarters Facebook page and Air It Out Facebook page. We're going to try to stay within our quarters tonight because that is our 2024 New Year's resolution. I don't know. Who am I kidding? We also wanted to show, first of all, the new addition to the 4 Quarters podcast.
Gotta love this thing.
Wheels, you want to show them what it really does?
You think it's just a helmet? It's so much more than that. It's a cooler.
It's a cooler. It's a refrigerator.
I mean,
come on, you can fit a 6-pack of, Diet Coke, in there. Jeff Hostetler is owning it right now. I mean, best Christmas gift I've ever gotten. Sorry, Mom.
It's a pretty cool gift.
It is a cool gift.
It's a prop for the podcast.
Yeah, we're going to have to put stickers on it. I think Jim Harbaugh should send us some of those yellow footballs that are...
I think so, too. I think so,
helmets.
yeah.
All right, so welcome in. I should start the clock. First quarter, we are going to go back to shout-outs. On Monday, we did headline news. Who wants to go first?
Do you have any shout-outs?
I do. You want to go first, though?
I can go first. Do you have the photo?
Yes.
Feel-good story.
Yeah, let's start with.
We all love feel-good stories here. The 3
them.
of us love them. And in the theme of Michigan winning the national title, as you see.
Wait, ding, ding.
I don't know if...
Okay, I'll stop.
You'll be able to do that plenty more times, I'm sure. I don't know if any of you have heard the story of Michi Demetrius Walker. CB's going to post a photo of him.
Say that name 10 times.
Right?
Sorry.
I came across it on Instagram, a story on Instagram, and I just couldn't get enough of it today. So Demetrius Walker, he was a top football player, heavily recruited. In 2018, his recruitment started to skyrocket. Like Kentucky reached out to him, Michigan State reached out to him. Die-hard Michigan fan, die-hard his whole life. That's all he wanted to do is play for Michigan. He was diagnosed with osteosarcoma in 2020.
No way.
And it got so bad and the cancer spread so quickly, he had to get his left leg amputated. So obviously his playing career being over.
Yep.
Jim Harbaugh heard about him, heard about his love for Michigan, how he always wanted to play there. And Harbaugh reached out to him and invited him and his mom to Michigan, to the stadium, to a practice. There's a photo of him there with the team, Harbaugh pushing him into the end zone so he could see what it felt like to score at Michigan Stadium, which
goosebumps.
I have been to Michigan Stadium. It is just an amazing place.
Yeah.
And so Michi remained a constant with Michigan through till he passed away in December 9th, 2022. But he always went to practice. He went to games. He was always a part of them. They played for him. And they continue to talk to his family. They continue to reach out to his kid. He had a kid.
God.
Even after the victory on Monday night, his name was mentioned in the locker room. So
that is amazing.
They played for Michi, is what
I was
it
going to
was.
say,
So
they played for Michi.
if you want the full story about this kid and, a feel-good story about Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, go to it. It's on ESPN. It's on YouTube. Just a great, heartfelt story of
top to bottom. Goosebumps.
Yeah.
My God.
Just an amazing guy. And his mom said that Michigan gave him life. Like he was down and out, just ready to give up. And then when he went to Michigan, that first practice, it gave him life and a reason. So
love it.
Sports does a lot more than people realize sometimes.
It really does.
So it's
It really
just one of
does.
those feel-good stories.
Because we understand how he feels.
Yeah.
When you grow up, it's instilled in you.
Yeah.
You know, wanted to play for Michigan. When you're a sports fan and you're an athlete, that doesn't ever leave.
It never does. No matter how old you
never
are or how long it's been
leaves.
since you've played.
Yep.
It's always in you, even in card games. Yep. I mean, you know,
It's true.
Shy and I played some rummy, and I'm pretty sure she wanted to get up and quit because I'm pretty competitive about it. So it doesn't go away. Board games, card games, it doesn't matter.
And that's very true.
And it's very, very true.
We still have to get a poker game together.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Maybe the night of the draft, as we're watching the picks, we can play a few hands.
Yes, distract you while I take your money.
Good job,
Because
CB. That's
remember,
very true.
the one gambler on this set is that one right there.
Yeah.
I'm
not
the
I.
I'm the degenerate out of all of us.
Definitely not I. Love it.
Great story, Wheels. Great story.
Yes. And then I just have two shout downs real quick. My boy John Morant out for the season.
Right?
He
Say it.
literally
Wait.
just got back.
Stupid shoulders.
There it is.
Stupid
I'm sorry. I
shoulder,
had to cut you
CB.
off there.
Stupid shoulders.
So my poor boy out for the season. So the Grizzlies, bye. Like your
bye.
season's all but done. And then unfortunately another UConn player out with an ACL.
Who is it
Again,
now?
senior Aubrey Griffin.
So it is Griffin.
Yep.
How
Add
much
her to the
more?
list. Like they say MetLife is jinxed. I swear to God, Stores, Connecticut is jinxed. Like,
And I guess Gino's probably just praying that Paige Beckers gets through
Yeah.
a season.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all are praying
For-
that she
for
gets
sure.
through a season.
yep.
Oh my
So
goodness.
those are my two injury shout downs, unfortunately.
Rip.
So sad. That John Moran was awful. I got into work on Tuesday and CB and I are like,
Yeah.
and then she said, stupid shoulders.
Stupid shoulders. You need a shirt that says that.
I know.
Stupid shoulders.
Jennifer says she is my favorite UConn player. I'm so sad.
Oh.
Jen is a huge
UConn
UConn
fan.
fan.
Yes,
she
she is.
can
Yep.
name the whole roster. I tell you. What does your shirt say?
Oh, let's see if I can do this.
Life goal pet. Oh,
Life goal.
pet
Pet all the dogs.
Oh, I love
Wow.
it. CB has the best shirts.
I think Karen and Shy would steal probably
Most
all of her wardrobe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't ever invite him over to your house,
Yeah.
okay? So what do you got, CB?
One quick one is, did you guys see this? That the Marlins hired Rachel Bakovic as the director
Yes,
of player
I saw
I
development.
think I did.
Yes.
Thank you for
She
throwing
was,
that out there.
She was in the Yankees minor leagues as a
Yeah.
coach, and they just hired her as a farm system.
All these top
Love
female
it.
executives come
Right?
from the Yankee organization. Just saying.
And then the next one is kind of random.
Maybe Brian Cashman should leave. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, when? So on Monday night, we were like, football's almost over. What are we going to talk about? Right? And we mentioned that the Olympics are coming up in this summer.
Bless you.
And besides soccer, my second favorite thing to watch is gymnastics.
Is it?
Love
Yes.
gymnastics.
Love gymnastics.
Yep.
And
Same.
so the NCAA gymnastics season just started this past weekend
All
with
right.
some big tournaments. So most of the USA gymnastics hopefuls are sitting out this season. So Suni Lee, she's got to get healthy. She's had a lot of kidney issues. Kayla DiCello and Jordan Childs are all taking a year away from college to
College, yep.
focus on
Sure.
the Olympics. Two of them are actually still playing, still competing. Jade Carey of Oregon. She's a beam. She did beam and bars. She scored a 9.9 on beam.
Oh, wow.
And a 9.975 on bars.
Wow.
But she's mostly known for her vault and floor success. But she's focusing on her two weaker.
Okay. Yep.
Whatever.
Events,
And then, thank you.
Yep.
And then Leon Wong, she's of the Florida Gators. She's competing this Friday. And then a couple of quick shout outs. These are not USA hopefuls, really. But Sage Kellerman of Michigan scored a 10.0 on vault. And
nice.
Maylee O'Keefe of Utah scored a 10.0 on beam.
Wow.
So
Very
it's going to
nice.
be
Wow.
it's going to be an interesting to see
Love
who,
gymnastics.
I do
makes
too.
the
Love
makes the
gymnastics.
Olympics team, because also Gabby Douglas is back. She's trying to make a comeback.
She's like, never's going to retire.
yeah.
Right.
Well, she was
Right.
away
She's
for
like
6 years.
She's like the Tom Brady of gymnastics.
Right.
yeah.
It's like, but the beam, man, I couldn't even walk across
No.
that without
Right?
falling.
No.
It's terrifying.
No.
So
No.
the fact
How
that
do
they can
do what
they
they
can do what
do?
they do on it,
How wide is that?
There's no way I couldn't
Yeah.
even walk from one end to the other without
Yeah.
falling.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
Watched it in high school. A lot of my friends were into gymnastics, and gymnastics was huge at Montpelier High School back in the day, back in the 80s, huge, and it is making a comeback too in high schools all throughout Vermont.
I
as
do
well.
love gymnastics too, CB.
It's so fun.
Yeah. Yeah. The Olympics is just
The Olympics.
so I literally cannot wait for the
Yeah.
Olympics.
Same.
And what was the name of the show on Netflix that I'm watching next? That you just got done watching? Fool Me Once?
Fool Me Once.
Twice.
Fool Me Once.
Okay. I'm sorry, I had to put that back
Yeah.
in my brain.
Shout out to that show, Fool Me Once, Netflix. It's great.
We'll give you good Netflix shout outs every now and again. My shout out, first of all, I forgot to mention that Chris Autry, who was supposed to be our guest on this past Monday, I said we were hoping to get a call in from down south. Busy man. So we're hoping that Autry joins us on Monday, because I'm thinking, even though it is a holiday, that we're probably going to be on Monday.
I would say so. Playoffs.
be on
We're going to have
Monday.
playoffs to talk about. Basketball.
We're going to be on early on Monday, though. We will be on at 5:30 on Monday because we can on Monday.
I don't have to work.
CB doesn't
I was
work.
gonna say
Look
CB
at
doesn't
that.
have to work. Okay. So hopefully we'll have a Chris Autry hearing. Obviously not a sighting. And if the Steelers lose, you're going to have to cover your ears when Autry is on. My shout out goes to Fred Hoiberg and the Nebraska basketball team. Yes, that's right. I didn't say the Nebraska football
Right?
team. Another basketball school. Fred Hoiberg, first of all, is one of my favorite coaches. He's been around for quite a while. Yep, he made Iowa State basketball. He built Iowa State basketball. And then, as so many NCAA coaches, well, not so many, but some of them do, they turn a program around, then the NBA comes calling and wants them. So he went to the Chicago Bulls for about 5 or 6 years. And he is back in basketball in the NCAA college scene for about 3 years, I think. And Nebraska just upset number 1 Purdue, 88-72, and it was their first win against a top-ranked team, number 1 ranked, in 41 years.
Wow.
41 years. They are 13-3 on the season, 3-2 in the Big Ten. They are 24-4 under Hoiberg when they score 80-plus points.
That's awesome.
And I got to give a lot of credit to this young man. He's not a young man, but to me he is. When he left Iowa State and went to the NBA, I'm like, don't do it, dude, don't do it. Because just it doesn't work for a lot of these
It doesn't.
great
It's so
college
enticing,
coaches.
though,
Yeah.
for
It
them.
is.
I'm
It is.
sure.
100%.
Yeah.
So glad he's back. And when I heard he was at Nebraska, I'm like, whew, that's a tough basketball school. I mean, it's a football school that hasn't even had football really for the last 5 years. So good for him. He's putting them back on the map like he always does. And what a huge, huge win for Nebraska basketball. So that was really the only shout out I had. We do have a ton of breaking news, though,
Yes.
that we can throw into the shout out quarter. Wheels, I'll let you give your breaking news
Yeah,
first.
we were just sitting here right before we went live, and if anyone can believe it, Nick Saban retiring from coaching.
Which I still am in shock.
I'm-
I was going to not be
Shocked.
sitting in my chair because
Shocked.
I was still on the floor.
Yeah, just came across my ESPN feed.
Garrett Sicily commented on it. He said early potential candidates to take over for him.
Oof. Gosh, they're going to be lining up.
Yeah, they are.
They're
That's a
going to be
great
lining
job to
up.
have.
That is a great job
Right?
to have.
I mean, everyone's going to want it.
I didn't think I've got potential candidates for NFL coaches, but a lot of NFL coaches are going to want that Alabama job too.
For sure.
I know they'll go within the tree. It's got to be a Nick Saban tree
Oh,
hire.
yeah.
It has
Oh,
to be.
yeah.
And there's there's probably only 500 from the Nick Saban coaching tree out there now. But I did not see that happening.
No.
No.
I didn't.
Especially, like I was telling you guys, like I never thought he would leave not winning the national
Winning it,
championship.
right.
Like, I figured he would win it and then say la vie. But
Right. So it's shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking breaking news. My breaking news was that Pete Carroll had stepped
also
down
shocking.
as the Seattle Seahawks coach, which we never saw coming. And Wheels, as we were going on the air, is like, oh my God, Nick Saban is retiring. And I'm like, well, that trumps Pete Carroll. Sorry, Pete.
Jennifer says Lane Kiffin.
I thought of him, and it seems like the natural fit. It really does. but I like what he's done at Ole Miss.
Yeah. And don't they not get along?
He bebopped around a little bit, but he has built a program at Ole Miss, but I can't argue with Jen.
No, I
don't think Bill O'Brien would go back there, and he was another sidekick. It's going to be the hot coach. Maybe Jim Harbaugh will go there. I'm just kidding. I'm so just kidding. Pete Carroll stepping down, just I don't know what to say.
I think it was
you
a
guys.
nicely
I
said
think he was
way
pushed
of-
out.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think he was pushed out. I'm sad that he was pushed out. I didn't see that one coming. That one just shocked me.
He's the oldest coach in the NFL. Did you know that?
72 years
I would have
old.
never guessed looking at him and the way he is on that sideline.
Running
Right.
up and down the sideline.
that
Oh
he
my
is
gosh.
72.
72 years old. He will no longer be the coach. It was thoughtful meetings and careful consideration for the best interests of the franchise. And it was in agreement with Pete Carroll that his role will evolve from coach to remain with the team as an advisor. That's a that's a whole bunch of BS in one sentence.
Yep.
I'm like, wow, very nicely. This is why they have these media people in place. He's the winningest coach in Seahawks history, no doubt. Brought the city its first Super Bowl title. Created a tremendous impact over the past 14 years on the field and in the community. He is just the man. Pete will always be beloved member of the Seahawks family. And I could just keep going, yada, yada, yada. He was pushed out the door.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, but he's still involved in the organization. Because watching in the last 24 hours as Mike Vrabel has been let go by the Titans, and Pete Carroll, you might as well say, let go by the Seahawks. I don't understand what's happening.
I don't either. All the coaches we thought were going to get fired.
Right.
I mean, there are some we knew.
Right.
But none
Don't
of these
worry.
guys did we ever think.
No.
Eberflus is still the coach of the Chicago Bears. They got rid of the offensive
Everything else.
coordinator.
Everybody
Everyone
else,
else.
basically.
They'll probably get rid of Justin Fields.
Yep.
But
Stupid.
Coach Eberflus is still manning the sidelines at Soldier Field. That one I don't agree with.
Me
No,
neither.
but no.
I can't wait for Annie Agar to make
Tear
a
them
video.
apart.
Make a video about
Tear
it.
them apart. So that takes care of quarter number one. But quarter number two is just going to be all things. And we're going to start with Michigan football, which deserves a huge shout out.
Yes, they do.
That was
Well
a
done.
very impressive 34-13
Very
win,
impressive.
which caps the perfect season. I knew that the game plan had to be to get the run game going, but that was insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about Donovan Edwards. I wasn't even thinking Donovan
No.
Edwards. All Blake Corum. Blake Corum. And the two of them combined for 238 yards and 4 touchdowns, 8 to 9 yards per carry. Edwards had the first 2 touchdowns, so it was 2 carries, 87 yards, 2 TDs. And then Blake Corum took over. We talked Monday, will he get over 100 yards? I think he finished with 134. Each of them, obviously, 2 touchdowns apiece. J.J. McCarthy didn't have to do much.
No,
but
he didn't.
He just had to right the ship, which he did a very good job of doing. And the defense put... I hate to say this because I love Michael Penix and what a great year. So a big shout out to Washington as well. But they did to Michael Penix what you try to do to Brock Purdy.
Yes.
And that's play from behind.
Right.
Yep.
And you get a little tense. You force some things. He missed a Dunze on a wide open.
That was
and that
painful.
Was in the second quarter, I
That was
think.
painful, yeah.
And that could have changed. That could have changed the
would've changed-
confidence
Oh,
at least.
Yeah.
And you're not chasing. But I don't want to hear. It's a tarnished.
Oh, definitely
tarnished.
not.
No.
I don't want to hear any
No.
of that.
No.
Don't take that away from these young men
No.
Right.
who were without their coach, and the coach served the suspensions that he had to do. And in the last 3 games of the season, beat Ohio State, Alabama, and the other undefeated team, Washington. So kudos to Jim Harbaugh, talking to him before the game. Holly Rowe was, and he still doesn't want to.
No.
He's like,
He's-
we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
And who was it that said, like, pretty much it's happening everywhere, but they're the ones who got caught.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Nick Saban tried to not say that on the air. I watched the interview months ago.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, it
Right.
happens. It happens.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you are the ones that got caught. And don't take away that run at the end of the season and a perfect season. Don't take that away.
No, they played fantastic. They played with all this controversy. Like he said, they were family. They stuck together.
And your opening story shows what a family
Exactly.
they are.
Exactly. And how about Mr. Harbaugh?
Right?
The dad. Do the three of them not look identical?
Oh my gosh, some strong genes there.
Right?
Some very strong genes.
Like, holy pops, Harbaugh. Like, all three of them, you put them all together, I'm like, whoa.
Oh, and Garrett, were you in Barrie today? Can you just chime in and let us know if you were in Barrie today? I swear I saw you. I digress. That's my only one right there. Opening betting line for who's going to win the title next year. Alabama, Georgia, Texas at the top of the cuff right now.
I wonder if that will change now, though.
I know,
Now
right?
that Saban's gone, will that change?
How many players will leave through the transfer portal?
Oh, God.
That should be
That's probably
interesting.
blown up already.
And even if it's somebody like Lane Kiffin, who has definitely made his mark in NCAA football, you're going to Alabama for Nick Saban,
Right?
To play for Nick Saban.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. I mean, it's going to take me a while to wrap my head around that one. We titled the show "The Perfect Season for Michigan," but we also titled it, "Oh, Aaron." So I don't know if this is going to take up the rest of the show, but Aaron Rodgers is causing a lot of turmoil. He tends to do that.
Yeah, I think he loves it.
He wants to.
Oh, God, yeah.
So it started with Jimmy Kimmel. Mm-hmm. It started on the Jimmy Kimmel show the other night, and I didn't know there was bad blood between the two. Did either one of you?
I would have thought, why would there be? Like, what
But-
do they have in common at all?
Yeah, I didn't know that. So, you see the headlines, and I'll just read a few things on what Mr. Kimmel had to say. Actually, we're going to go over here. Did you hear the story about me and Aaron Rodgers, the former quarterback for the Packers? Kimmel said. All right, so what happened is he's quarterback of the Jets now. Yes, we all know that. He went on on the show on ESPN, the Pat McAfee show, which we'll get to that later, and out of the blue insinuated that I was nervous because the Jeffrey Epstein list was coming out. I mean, who says stuff like that?
Yeah.
He said I was hoping it wouldn't, and that he was going to pop a bottle of something to celebrate when it did, when the list came out. And when it did come out, of course, my name wasn't on it, meaning Jimmy Kimmel's. And Jimmy Kimmel couldn't figure out why, because he's never even met Jeffrey Epstein. These are Kimmel's words, not ours. I'm not on the list. I wasn't on a plane or on an island or anything ever. I suggest that if Aaron Rodgers wanted to make false and very damaging statements like that we should do it in court so he could share his proof with a judge. Because, when you hear a guy who won a Super Bowl and did all the State Farm commercials say something like this, a lot of people believe it.
Right.
And that's the world we live in. That 100% is the world we live in. And I will go on to read. Here's the thing. I spent years doing sports. This is Kimmel still. I've seen guys like him before. Aaron Rodgers has a very high opinion of himself.
Oh, God, yes.
Absolutely.
Because he
Yes,
had
he does.
success on a football field, he believes himself to be an extraordinary being. And let's not forget, he goes on Jeopardy and proves that as well.
Right.
He genuinely thinks that because God gave him the ability to throw a ball, he's smarter than everybody else. The idea that his brain is just average, it's not even in the same ballpark for him. And when we learned during COVID, somehow he knows more about COVID than the scientists know. Unfathomable, this whole thing is. A guy who went to community college, now we're going to hit below the belt, then got into Cal on a football scholarship and didn't graduate. Someone who never spent a minute studying the human body is an expert in the field of science. He just put on a magic helmet, and that G made him a genius. You thought I was going to say God, didn't you? So that's what's going on. There's a war of words. Peter King said, and I love reading Peter King's Monday quarterback. He said that Aaron Rodgers owes a huge apology to Jimmy Kimmel. And even if he gives that it's probably not going to do any good.
No.
And Jimmy Kimmel, he can air it out too. He has every right to air it out. But then the thing that got me today, because Pat McAfee and Aaron Rodgers are brothers from another mother.
Yes.
They have been for years.
For years, yep.
Aaron Rodgers makes every announcement. You know, he goes into a black hole to see if he's going to retire or not in the last offseason. It's always going to be announced on the Pat McAfee show. So today at about 1, I saw that Aaron Rodgers is now cut from the Pat McAfee show for the rest of the season because shit's getting really loud, as Pat McAfee would say. Pat McAfee has had enough of the Aaron Rodgers drama. The ESPN host announced at the start of the Pat McAfee show today that the Jets quarterback has made his final appearance of the season because he was supposed to be on for the rest of the playoffs. Jamil Hill, who is a great announcer as well, or a reporter, rips hypocritical Aaron Rodgers. People think much of what you're saying, Aaron, is stupid. I'm like, wow, that's Aaron Rodgers has turned the Pat McAfee show into an $85 million ESPN disaster. I could go on and on. What are you guys thinking when you hear all this? What say you? What I mean, other than...
Well, my first thing is,
I'm trying not to
why
say...
was it even brought up? Like, how...
Right. Why,
like,
what is it? Why?
Did Pat McAfee bring up Jimmy Kimmel? I don't understand why it was even brought up on an ESPN sports show.
Right. So he has bad blood with Jimmy Kimmel. Now he puts him on the Jeffrey Epstein list.
Right.
But then he tried to bring it back.
Correct.
And was like, oh, I didn't call him a pedophile, nor should anyone else do it. He never really apologizes, but he's like, I never did it. He'll
never apologize.
Now that he's seeing some consequences.
Right.
Does he know how to say I'm sorry?
No.
He just wants the spotlight, no matter how many people.
I think
he's bringing people down now.
Oh, yeah.
He's really good at playing the victim.
I was going to say being the villain.
Yeah.
Like, I think he loves to be the villain.
Yeah.
Because people always are talking about the villain.
I like that McAfee said there will be a lot of people who are happy with that, myself included, to be honest with you, that Aaron Rodgers is no longer on the show. The way it ended, it got really loud. I am happy that he's not going to be in my mentions going forward, which is great news. So Pat McAfee went from this is my bro to I don't even want to say your name anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to get a paycheck from ESPN, so you kind of have to say
I was like,
those
how much
things.
is his show? Is he being paid right now?
Yeah.
So Rodgers' fourth season as a guest of the show ends amid a feud with Jimmy Kimmel after suggesting the ABC late night host could be on the Jeffrey Epstein list. That's all I'm reading. So I don't get, what his... Why he had to bring this to the forefront.
That's what I don't... That's the biggest thing for me that I don't understand.
So his final appearance on the Pat McAfee show on Tuesday, he spent most of it discussing the Kimmel feud and his controversial thoughts on COVID. But that's what happened Tuesday on the Pat McAfee show.
And did Pat even bring that up? That's my thing. Did he just
got to go back and watch the show?
But I haven't watched it. So
Pat McAfee's talking sports. Pat McAfee and his buds are doing what the three of us are doing.
Right.
We're just talking sports, loving, our opinion. But it got bad on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go back and watch that show.
So too. Yeah.
I don't get Aaron Rodgers. I don't
He's
get it.
just he marches to the beat of his own drum. Yeah. And
he's like a guy you'd see as a cult leader.
Yeah.
He's a dangerous dude, and I don't mean that as a compliment.
No, I know.
I really don't mean it as a compliment. I don't know what's going on. More to come, but it started with Pete Carroll, then it went Nick Saban. In the middle of it was Aaron Rodgers running his mouth. And, what good does it do? The city of New York's going to love him.
Right.
Especially if he leads them to a Super Bowl next year. My other fun nugget, is I mentioned on Monday that Wink Martindale was out as defensive coordinator of your New York Giants. Dable thought that the staff was coming back, yet Dable started to let go of coaches on the defensive staff.
Right.
He wanted to keep Wink Martindale, but was getting rid of other coaches.
Right.
So reports that Giants coordinator Wink Martindale officially resigned his position proved to be untrue, but it still doesn't look like there is a future for their relationship. Obviously, there's not. Martindale's response to head coach Brian Dable's choice to make changes to the coaching staff are a big reason for Martindale saying, peace, I'm out.
Right.
The Giants dismissed outside linebacker coach Drew Wilkins, defensive assistant Kevin Wilkins, both of whom accompanied Martindale in his move
He
from
brought him
Baltimore.
over. Yeah.
Right.
Those
So
are
it was his
those are his
staff.
guys.
Yeah.
So if Daboll starts, if like
but
we're
props
getting
to Wink.
canned, what are you going to do, CB?
Right.
Props
You're
to
getting
Wink.
canned. We're all walking out the door
props
together.
to Wink.
So Daboll
Right.
knew what he was doing.
Right.
Yeah.
He did. Yep.
So Paul Schwartz of the New York Post reports that Martindale cursed at Daboll, said he's a piece of bleep to bleep,
Yeah.
got up, slammed the door, walked out of the building upon hearing the news of the Wilkins being dismissed. So that is when Wink
Yep.
said, see ya.
Bye.
Wink, wink, I'm out of here. Coach Daboll knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
It's a little sneaky go around.
Yeah.
It is a little sneaky
So
go
you're
around
not the
it.
guy that fired Wink Martindale.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stupid.
But I'm going to hire his guys.
Yeah.
So that's a little shady.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know I'm a big fan of Coach Daboll.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
To be determined.
Yeah.
Who comes in, and I tell you what, that Giants defense kept them in every game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And tell me the big names on that team. Thibodeau is the biggest one for
Yeah.
me.
Yep.
Yep. That's
And
basically
I'm
it.
gonna struggle.
Yeah.
So he always got his mind as a defensive coordinator was off the charts. So it's a lot of drama going on.
There is. The NFL has been a lot of drama this
drama.
year. Like how they handled Russell Wilson and now
Yep.
how they're handling this. Like, coaches be sneaky. I'm
Looks
telling
bad.
you.
Looks real
Oh wait,
bad.
there's more. The Denver Gazette says
yes.
maybe the Denver Broncos are going to keep Russell Wilson on their roster for 2024. What?
I literally just
That's
laughed.
bad reporting, I hope.
Yes. Right.
Because Sean Payton has punched him in the gut too many times.
right.
Yeah.
Stepped on him a few times. For Russell Wilson, I hope he is out of Denver as a June 1st cut, if not sooner.
Yeah. I hope so.
That's just demeaning Russell Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Wilson.
100%.
Yeah.
If you bring him in, you're not going to play him. If
No.
you do, maybe you do. I don't know. But that takes care of our fun second quarter, which is just all drama. How are we starting 2024 in the sports world? Drama. Oh, Eric Spoelstra, the head coach of the Miami Heat. No drama here because that's Pat Riley's guy, has been his guy. And the two of them do a phenomenal job keeping the Miami Heat up there. He's just signed an 8-year, $100 million extension. So kudos to him.
Yep.
Great
Deserved.
organization.
Well deserved.
Yep. Great
Great
organization.
coach. He's a great coach.
So third quarter is going to be talking about the wild weekend ahead, which is Wild Card Weekend. AJ Brown getting an MRI today. Haven't heard anything. Haven't heard the
not
update.
yet.
No.
Sam Laporta, there's no way that guy's playing.
No.
I mean, Coach Campbell keeps saying, "Oh, there's an outside chance he can't walk probably." But we were talking before we went on the air. Zach Ertz is sitting at home with his wonderful wife, just hanging out.
Just being a dad.
Being a dad.
Should be in a Lions uniform.
Yep.
Because
That would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
I would be so hyped for that.
Did you get anybody better?
No.
That's not on our NFL roster.
I loved him.
I love the storylines of these guys who haven't been playing all season, just sitting on the
Right?
couch,
Yeah.
coming in, changing the game.
The reverse side of that, the Miami Dolphins are going out and getting everybody that's sitting off a couch to play defense for them this weekend. We know after last week that Bradley Chubb tore his ACL, so that's 11 sacks out.
Oh, that's
month ahead of
heartbreaking.
time. Jalen Phillips, that's 8 sacks out. And Andrew Van Ginkel, who is the heart and soul of that defense, he will not be playing this weekend as well with a foot injury. So then I go to my second favorite player, Jerome Baker. Well, he had wrist surgery on Monday. So insert Melvin Ingram, who has been he played for the Dolphins last year, has been on their practice squad. Justin Houston, I can't remember. I think he was with the Panthers for a little bit. Blink. Bruce Irvin, who was great when Dan Quinn was the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. So all these guys are putting a Dolphin uniform on for Saturday. That's interesting.
In 0
I'm
degree
not
weather.
I'm not watching
In
that game.
Very
0 degree
to me
weather.
-5, right, or something like that.
High of 0,
Yep.
low of -9.
Yeah.
I think.
And the Dolphins are 0-10 in weather under 40 degrees.
Under 40 degrees.
So you're saying there's a chance? No.
So can you guys just give me a little bit and say I get what it's like to be a Dolphin fan, which I think CB knew as the first time I told her.
I get it.
It is a painful
Yeah.
life.
It's painful. At
Boy.
least you have a future, though.
Okay.
Right now.
Well, we don't have two defensive ends.
No.
How quickly can you come back from the ruptured Achilles and the
Yeah,
ACL?
that could be.
Yeah.
18 sacks. 18 sacks
Yeah.
between those two.
This is going to have to be Mike McDaniel's greatest coaching effort ever.
He's going to have a really good run game, and he's going to have to control the clock.
Or
like
the
Jim
Chiefs are
Harbaugh
maybe-
in Michigan did.
Or the Chiefs just have to implode.
Right. Yeah.
And
Which is a possibility. Let's be real, guys.
if there was ever a game to get your confidence in your team back on track for Kansas City,
this is it.
It's
Yeah.
this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. I don't. There's nothing else. I have nothing else. I have nothing else to say. I have nothing else to say.
You can't say something nice, don't say it at all, right?
Right. And
You know?
I tried to be positive about the Dolphins this year.
You did pretty good.
You lasted.
She had her moments.
I was believing too. I was really believing.
I mean, you did have some moments. CB and I had zero positive moments about the Giants.
No,
so
none.
you
None.
at least had some.
None.
I think it's great. One of the storylines for Wild Card Weekend is that Matthew Stafford finally gets to play a playoff game
Yep.
in Detroit. It's just not for the Lions.
I love that story.
Great storylines,
Right.
man.
And that, if there's
Great
one game I
storyline.
want to see, there's
that's-
a couple
yes.
of them.
That is a definite must watch.
Absolutely.
I'm like, when we're going to talk about, we're going to do our 6-pack of picks, but we're also going to talk about point spreads a little bit later, which neither one of us are. We're not betting people. No. I do want to read this last, and this has nothing to do with Wild Card weekend, but 3 days after turning 30, because CB was right on with that, nicely done. Derrick Henry's top speed, there goes Squirrel again, on his 69-yard run, 21.68. was on his 69-yard run in what could be his last game in a Tennessee Titan uniform. That's the 7th fastest time for an NFL player this season.
Solid.
And he's
That
30.
is. And he's solid.
And
a
he
big
weighs
dude.
247
Yep, he's a big
pounds.
dude.
Sorry, he was part of my shout-out that I didn't get in tonight.
He was mad about Vrabel.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
He must have been
A lot
fired
of
up.
players are.
Yeah.
And a lot of ex-players are very angry about it, too.
And as bad as the Dolphins have been collapsing, I think the Eagles are worse.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And if they turn around and beat Tampa Bay, I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be shocked.
I think CBS Sports picked Tampa as the
So,
upset.
Yep.
do you know who ended up leading the NFL in sacks this year? No, it wasn't Garrett Miles. And no, it wasn't Max Crosby.
Nope, it wasn't.
What happened? It was TJ Watt, 19 sacks, and
Yep.
guess who's not playing this weekend?
TJ Watt.
Josh Allen's probably sending him a late Christmas present.
Yes.
Yep.
I love how
Yeah.
the Pittsburgh Steelers gritted it out to get
Yeah.
in.
But he should. I mean, if they make it,
Right.
yeah.
Would he be back for the next one?
I
It's a
think
possibility.
there's a
It's
possibility he
It was
could
just,
be.
Yeah, it was just a grade 2 strain.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But God, that sucks for Pittsburgh.
I feel so bad for him.
That
Yeah.
sucks for
I feel
Pittsburgh.
so bad for him.
Yeah.
And on that, because I know Pittsburgh fans are going, what the hell? The AFC North, which has 3 teams in the playoffs, the division record amongst them all, okay? Bengals 1-5 in the AFC North only, playing each other. Browns 3-3. Ravens 3-3. Steelers 5-1. Whoa.
That's, did not expect that.
That just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, I love my numbers, but I was like,
Is that right?
my source is really good.
This year?
This year?
My source is really good on this one. So I don't know. I'm like, I guess I'll go through 1 through 18 and look back at the scores. Houston Texans got to be proud.
Very.
Yeah.
And that's the other game.
Yeah, me too.
That's the other game that I really want to see. Who are they playing again?
The
Cleveland.
Browns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad.
It's going to be a game.
That defense, man.
Yeah.
We're in a
And
we're
rookie
in a
quarterbacks just
Right.
struggle in the playoffs.
struggle in the playoffs, but as we pick on Ohio State quarterbacks, as we have for the whole entire season, I think CJ Stroud's going to be okay. I'm not going to say
yeah,
they're going to
I
win.
think so too.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I raise a glass to Baker Mayfield, though, the most.
Yeah.
Out of any team in the playoffs.
Yep.
17 starts, a lot of injuries, over 4,000 passing yards.
Right?
28 touchdowns, a division title, an extra, I think when it's all said and done, probably $2 million in bonus went into his pocket. Amon-Ra St. Brown, what'd you say to me as we went on the air?
How is he not in the Pro Bowl? How is he not a Pro Bowler?
Stupid.
I hope he tears it up.
I hope so
Yeah.
too.
I hope
love
he
that guy.
tears it up. He also was, my numbers, 17th receiver drafted in the 2021 draft. The 17th. In his rookie year, he had 90 catches.
Yeah.
Year 206. This year, 119.
Damn.
And he's not
in the Pro Bowl.
elected to the
Stupid.
Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl
17.
so stupid sometimes.
It is.
And he's averaging 105. What? What?
What more does he need to do?
Right.
And his team's in
Oi.
the playoffs.
Right.
Like, yeah.
I hope that
Just the consistency he had this year, man.
right. That's just that game.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Rams and the Lions.
They're going to be so
Not great defenses, not bad.
Right.
There's a little bit of Swiss cheese involved in both of those.
So it's another one of those games that can be 10 to 7 or 30 to 27.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm hoping for the latter. I just want
too.
to see him go up and down the
Same.
field.
Me too.
Same.
Other good storyline is obviously Jordan Love has arrived. What would you think if I told you that Jordan Love in 2023 was a 10% improvement over Aaron Rodgers in 2022?
I would believe it.
I would believe it.
That's
believe it.
freaking
Yeah,
wonderful.
I would believe it.
I would.
It was a real bad year for Rodgers.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely
And
love
he
it.
did what Rodgers couldn't, and that was to make it to the playoffs.
Right.
Right. In that last game of
In
the
that
season.
last game.
Yep.
Which I can still remember looking at Aaron Rodgers and saying, in 2020, are you throwing this game?
Right.
Right.
I felt like he was throwing the game.
Yep.
I know we've bashed on Aaron Rodgers enough for one show, but I don't know. I'm just really, really excited for Wild Card Weekend. I think it's going to be a great weekend.
Agreed.
And
I
the
can't wait.
storylines, there's a plethora of them. I hope that the Eagles do have A.J. Brown, but I tell you what, when he fell down, it didn't look good.
No.
It really didn't look good. Another shout out just is how this offseason's going to go, because what are we at now? 7 coaching openings? Seahawks, Raiders, Titans, Panthers, Falcons, Chargers, Commanders. I listed them. I did not want to put the Raiders on there.
No.
I know interim is still hanging over AP's head.
Well, I heard that if he isn't kept by the Raiders, the Giants are looking at him for the defensive coordinator position.
I heard that as well.
Which
going
would be
back
awesome.
home.
I would be
pumped.
so psyched. I
Yeah.
want him to stay
Yep.
with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Me
but,
too. I read that too in the post and thought,
Yeah.
that's perfect land.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
I mean,
I do see the most. Well, Jim Harbaugh obviously could write out his own check if he wanted
right.
to.
He could
right
pick
now.
one of those
Yeah.
teams. Yeah.
yeah.
Leslie Frazier's name is out there as well, and we talked about Dan Quinn on Monday, the D coordinator of the Cowboys. He was a defensive coordinator for 2013-2014 with the Seahawks. Went to the Falcons as their head coach and wasn't bad there. I mean, we all remember the collapse in the Super Bowl. His value is at an all-time high. Jerry keeps giving him a blank check.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really could see Dan Quinn going back to the Seahawks, where he first kind of started his career as well. But if I'm him, less pressure.
Yeah.
Defensive coordinator
Yeah.
of the Cowboys. I don't know, but there's a lot of names out there that probably not in this cycle. But what I love is there's Jared Johnson. I'm just going to give a shout out to a few kids in my eyes. He's only 35. He was the quarterback coach for the Houston Texans this year.
Yo.
Yeah.
Need we say
Solid.
more?
Right.
Solid.
Right.
Need we say more? Clint Kubiak, yes, Gary Kubiak's son. He's only 36. Jared, 35. He's the pass game specialist for the San Francisco 49ers.
Pass game.
The
Boy, they have positions of
Shanahan
everything,
Kubiak tree has many branches, as we have seen. But this is the first year that Clint, son of Gary, has coached for Shanahan. And he's part of why Brock Purdy is who Brock Purdy is.
I mean, that's some big,
Yeah.
Right?
big compliments.
And I got to say, when these young guys come in the draft, this is what they're looking for.
Right.
These Jared Johnsons, Clint Kubiak. T. Martin's another one. I remember him, University of Tennessee quarterback. He's 45. Yep. He's the quarterback's coach for the Baltimore Ravens. And Lamar Jackson loves him and credits his season all to T. Martin. It's like the list goes on and on. Dan Pitcher is 36, and he's the quarterback coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. He is the one that was assigned to get the most out of Jake Browning. So it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just really fun just looking at all these names. And Zach Robinson's another one. He's the pass game coordinator, quarterback coach at 37 for the LA Rams. So the future is very bright.
Yeah.
There's a lot of young coaches coming through the ranks. Maybe these guys are a year or two away, but this is where I go full circle with my story. You guys will eventually get there. Pete Carroll was pushed out.
Yeah.
72-year-old Pete Carroll was pushed out because this is the future
Right.
of the NFL.
Yes.
I digress on Wild Card Weekend, but we're going to go right into the 6-pack of picks when we're talking about Wild Card Weekend. And again, 64, 62, 61 is where we're at. Okay?
We're going to have to go out on limbs.
Yep.
CB and I. And that's the only way we're going to win. That's
no
the
way.
only
There's no way.
way. You
There's no way.
literally,
That last week. Week
you going
18.
6-0 last week.
I know, I'd save
Really-
the best for
really,
week 18.
Yeah.
Kind of screwed us here.
Of course, and the last coaching thing we're waiting for is Bill Belichick at 72.
Yeah.
Speaking
And
of
you know him,
72
he's going to
year-olds.
wait to the
Oh, he
last
is.
Absolutely.
second.
He will turn 72 in April. George Papa Bear Hallis was 72 when he stepped down. Don Shula was 65 when he stepped down. And let's not forget the golden rule here with Bill Belichick, in my mind, 333 career wins. Second only to Don Shula with 347.
Yeah.
This is why I don't think he'll retire.
Right.
No. Yeah.
And on that note, I'll stop talking about coaches. I love doing it this time of year. That's why Monday was Black Monday.
Right.
Okay, so we are going to start off with Cleveland at Houston. 6-pack of picks. There are exactly 6 wild card games this weekend.
And there are some tough ones.
You guys are just going to make me
There
pick
are
first,
some-
and
there
you're going
are
to go
some
the
tough
opposite.
ones.
Yeah. I mean, we can't agree with you in every one because,
Yeah. It's just not.
like, we just, I mean, CB, unfortunately, really has to go out on limbs.
Yep. It's not going to happen, but.
I'm going to go
Let's
with
have some
Cleveland. And it's at Houston. Let's not forget it's at
Right.
Houston.
It's at
No.
Houston. I, too, am going to go with Cleveland. I just
going
think
with Joe Cool.
I just think their defense has,
Yeah, I'm going with
yeah,
the Browns. Their defense is
So we're all
much
going
better.
with the land.
the land.
Yeah.
Yes. The dog
that-
pound.
Did that become the land because of LeBron?
Yes.
All right, well,
So I'm never going to say that ever
Sorry,
again
I
in my
just
life.
said that.
I cannot believe I just said that.
I can't believe I did. And then as it came out of my mouth, I went,
He will never get a shout out.
well, this second one, you guys can't go opposite of me. Miami at Kansas City. I'm going to take Kansas City.
Yeah.
In 0-degree weather, you have to go with Kansas City.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
And then they have no defense.
Right.
This
They
is going
just
to be
don't.
really hard for you guys to go opposite.
I know.
Pittsburgh
I know.
at Buffalo.
No.
I'm riding the Buffalo train. I can't.
I can't.
You can't.
I said to a dear friend today in a pool where the tiebreaker was you had to pick the Super Bowl winner. I said 49ers. But what I wanted to say was Buffalo because there's something about momentum this time of year, and I'm not going to be shocked if the Buffalo Bills win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Not going to be shocked at all. Green Bay at Dallas. I think this is going to be a better game than some people are thinking. No?
Well, I mean,
it's tough for me because
Yeah.
Dallas is just so good at home.
they are.
It's a damn home thing.
It
with
is.
them.
Yep.
It is.
I'm going to go with the boys. This is really easy.
Is it?
Because you guys want to go with Green Bay. Because here's the
We
thing.
hate Dallas.
Yeah.
You hate Dallas, and they always choke in the playoffs.
They
They
always
do.
choke.
They do.
But then Wheels just said the magic sentence.
But
They're
that-
at home.
Home.
I mean,
Well, the magic 3 words. They're at home.
Oh man.
This is painful. Don't worry. The last 2 games we might go opposite.
I think we have to.
Yeah,
The last
yeah.
2 games we have to. So
Yeah.
I'm going to pick the Cowboys for now. I might change it, but we'll see.
okay.
Because I have a 2 games.
That's what CB does. She'll text me on Sunday
Yeah.
mornings and go, what was that one game you changed? It was great.
the Lions over the
Oh,
Cowboys
the
at home
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Whoops, just,
on a Saturday morning, and they should have.
am I writing the boys down for you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so painful.
Rams at the Lions. Here we go. Here we go.
I'm going
I'm
with
going
the
the Rams.
Rams.
Okay. That was quick.
Yeah,
All right.
I just think they're coming in
so
hot.
Good.
Yeah.
They're so good right now of late.
I mean, could it be the Bills and the Rams?
I mean,
that would
could
be
be.
fun.
and the Lions without Laporta, that's a big loss for them. And I just don't think the Lions
the big loss.
defense can keep up with Kupp and
Yeah.
Nakua.
And
Yes.
Nakua.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the thing. I want to take Detroit. I so want to take
I
Detroit.
mean, I would love for them to win,
Yep.
obviously.
But how many holes did CD Lamb find
Yeah.
in that
Yes.
defensive backfield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
What? They're great against the run, but you've got 2, you've got 3, Tutu Atwell as well. You got
You
got a
can't.
trio.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Rams as well. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
We're gonna have to change. I'm gonna have to change one of them.
Philly at Tampa Bay. I am going to go with the Bucks.
Yeah, you have to. I can't choose the Eagles, A, and B, they just
Wheels
look so
is gonna-
bad.
I am gonna
take
choose the
the
Eagles.
Eagles?
Yeah,
Choose the Eagles?
I am. I think Mayfield's gonna choke against that defense.
Which that could very well happen.
And I hope I'm wrong. I hope Dallas and Philly get their butts kicked.
Yep.
Yep.
But I
know
need to
you do.
change one of those because I'm 2
Yeah.
games behind you.
And here's the thing. Yep. So you're going to have to change
I'm
one
gonna have to
more.
change one. Dang it.
Baker has just been flinging it around, having fun.
Yeah.
Now the pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We won the South. We're at home.
Right.
And we're going up against a team that
Yeah.
is 1-5 in the last 6 games.
I mean, I hope
I-
they get. I hope Mayfield throws for 350 and 4 touchdowns. But
Right. Me too. Me too.
I'm just going. So
All right,
I'm gonna
Wheels.
have to switch.
You don't have to switch it now. You can let me know if you want to.
I might take the Packers.
I know. I might.
I'm going to take the Packers.
You're going Packers.
to.
Okay.
What was the other one? Was Cleveland? I'm gonna have to get
You know
back
you
to.
want to take the Dolphins, right?
I mean, if their defense wasn't a bunch of
Guys off the street.
guys off the street,
Holy shit.
And then you know what? I got nothing to lose. I got nothing to lose. Just because I'm choosing from my heart now.
yep.
I'm going to choose the Texans.
Okay. Okay.
I know.
got
I
nothing
feel
to
like
lose.
I need to make that change too.
I got nothing to lose.
And you guys, we can go into next weekend as well. We can. I just keep going. This is the first time I've led in a while. Wheels, you are leading like most of the year.
This is what happens.
Yeah.
Just like fantasy.
Ooh,
Just like fantasy football.
That's some.
All right, I'm going to hand
That was a
these
little bit
to
of a
you.
dig,
Yeah,
don't you
yeah.
think?
Oh,
Yeah.
It was
real bad. That was real bad.
And I went, she's going to take that as
That
a
was
dig.
a low-ended
Some
dig.
raw wounds right there. Some raw wounds.
I was
just
giving
take
you a
it and-
compliment. I really meant for that to be a compliment.
did not come out that
I
way.
know.
Did not come out that way.
Sorry, buddy. I am so sorry.
It's basically Lori's way of saying you choked.
And I don't do that to my friends. But it did come out that way. As it came out, I went, filter just left. My filter
I hope
just
Karen
left.
Safford heard that. I hope she heard that.
So we're all going to do Whiteboard Wednesday. I'm going to start with who will Jim Harbaugh be coaching? And I'm going to give you
We have
Chargers.
Okay.
Watch, it won't be any of these teams
Yeah.
that I say. Chargers, Raiders, Commanders, or University of Michigan. Chargers, Raiders, Commanders, University of Michigan. I mean, I personally would like to see him back at Michigan, but
I would too.
everything's at an all-time high, and everybody's going to be throwing. They're going to back up the Brinks truck. Here's your blank check. What do you want, Mr. Harbaugh?
Me too, CB.
Yep.
Chargers and Chargers.
Yes. I think that's a great place
good
for him.
fit. It's a good
yeah.
fit.
It really is.
He has the quarterback.
He's
he has
got
a great
receivers.
defense.
He's got great defense. Draft, get in
Go
the
there.
draft.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to hope I word this properly, but with the point spread,
Okay.
because I don't, play with the point spread, but we're gonna pretend we're betting thousands of dollars here. With the point spread, which game do you like best? Which point spread would you
Bet on.
put $1,000? Drop it quickly, okay?
Okay.
The Green Bay Packers plus 7.5.
Okay.
The Miami Dolphins plus 4. What the frig?
Why? Not that one, in case you're wondering.
The Houston Texans plus 2.5. I know which one I like the best. But what say you, my dear friends? And I didn't want to throw you under the bus. I feel awful now.
You're fine.
So Green Bay 7.5, Miami 4, and Houston 2.5. I think I know which one we're all going to take. Yep. That's what we all took. Yep. I think the final score of that game, you want to hear my prediction, 33-31. But every time I say that, it's 10-7.
They're saying it's going to be an offensive, barrage of...
It should
I would
be.
love it. I would love it.
Okay, the last 3 games, or did I just do them? I did Miami, Cleveland. Who am I missing? Philly and Tampa Bay. Okay. So the next 3-pack is the Pittsburgh Steelers plus 10.
Whoa.
The LA Rams plus 3. And you're going to love this one. This is CBS, by the way. Tampa Bay plus 3, which means the Eagles are favored, obviously. Sorry. So, Pittsburgh Steelers plus 10, LA Rams plus 3, or Tampa Bay plus 3. That's tough because other than that Steeler game, we're looking at...
The other two,
I think I'm going to go this way. Wait, I'm going to take Tampa plus 3.
I'm doing the Rams.
I'm going to do the Rams.
You both are doing the Rams?
Yeah, I put the Bucks first, but then I was like, oh, no.
So the Rams plus 3. All right, those are my only 2 for whiteboard, or 3 for whiteboard.
Do you have questions, CB?
I do. I tried to go a little bit different because I didn't know
Me too.
what you guys were going to ask.
Oh, this was fun.
First one.
Yo.
So, a lot of season-ending injuries this year. Name of all the playoff teams.
Of all the playoff teams.
Okay.
If you could bring back any one player that was like, that'll get them to the Super Bowl,
Good question.
who would it be?
Crap, that's a good question.
To the Super Bowl, though.
Like
Right.
be
Okay.
or be a game changer.
That can be a game changer.
Let's put a game changer.
Okay.
So it's a season-ending injury.
Yep. That.
So
or-
TJ Watt doesn't count because he's only like out for a game.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is not going to surprise you guys. It's not Deshaun Watson, by the way.
I don't think anyone would choose him.
No. Boy.
Mine's going to be a twofold. And you guys are going to laugh at me.
Wow. I don't even know.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins, believe it or not.
I have
Their
one
whole
Dolphin-
defense?
Yeah, I have.
I'm going to
Chubb.
go with Chubbs and
Yeah.
Phillips
Yeah.
because it's a tag team.
Yeah.
And if these two are healthy and playing,
You guys had a shot.
I firmly believe
I
they
would've
could
picked the
knock
Dolphins.
off.
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
I
They
would
could knock off the
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Same.
I
Same.
wrote down Chubb
Those
as well.
two
Yep.
just crushed every Dolphin fan.
Yep.
Mike McDaniels is doing everything he can to try to stay positive, but come on now. That killed the Dolphins right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
I was
killed
going to
them.
say that or Laporta.
I mean, I love the Dolphins offense, but
Yeah.
their defense, once Jalen Ramsey came back, their defense went from here to here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you had the pass rushers on the front line, you had Jalen Ramsey on the back line, and even Van Ginkel and Baker are in the middle, and they're out too.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyways,
You've literally
I
lost
gotta
like
stop
pretty much your
crying.
whole defense.
Right.
Yeah, I gotta
Right.
stop crying.
Yeah.
If those two were playing, I would be high on the Dolphins right now.
Yeah, there is no. Yeah, I don't think there is an offensive player that, besides
Yeah.
Laporta, that's out.
Right. And TJ Watt.
Right.
I would-
And if AJ Brown is out, that's a
Yeah.
huge game changer. But
And even with TJ Watt, and I apologize to Steeler fans because I think they had a great last 3 weeks of
Right.
the season, but Buffalo is just so hot
So-
right,
right,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even
There's
with
no way.
TJ
Yeah.
Watt.
yeah,
So
yeah, agreed.
Next one. Okay, so Josh Allen has 18 interceptions. Jalen Hurts had 15 interceptions. Pat Mahomes and Tua had 14 interceptions. And you can even throw Joe Flacco in there, who had 8 interceptions in the last 5 games.
Wow.
Who throws the game-changing interception?
Oh. Game changing.
Game-changing.
That's easy.
Are you going to put Tua?
No, because
Oh, wow. Hurts?
game changing?
Yeah.
No, because Tua's probably going to throw a couple of the games out of reach.
Right.
If they're going to lose, it's
Flacco.
Flacco
That's what I
throws.
said.
Yeah. It's
Forgot a
Flacco.
C in his name, but yeah, Flacco.
It's Flacco.
Yeah.
If they lose, it's
Because he's looked great
Right.
in everything except for that.
right.
Right.
He's had some turnovers. So
Although,
as much as we all love Joe Cool, and we do,
Yeah.
and we do, as do the Cleveland Browns. If they lose, it's going to be on Flacco. Unfortunately, I hate saying
Although
that.
I hate to
saying
I
that.
hate to say it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Allen did it
Yeah. That's what he's known for.
because he's
Throwing-
a guns. I mean, he's
Throwing touchdowns and
Yeah.
throwing interceptions.
I wouldn't be surprised if he
No, this is a different
tries to
Josh
do
Allen.
too much. But
I don't know, man. And especially
Different
if
Josh
he's,
Allen.
if he's trying to force something every time I don't know.
So you're saying, well, not this weekend, obviously, but you're saying could be. I don't know. I think Josh Allen. I think he's
I
on a
don't know.
different level. I think
hope
once.
so.
I hope he is too. But
I think once Ken Dorsey got canned as offensive coordinator, who him and Allen had a great rapport.
they did.
Brady, it wasn't Joe Brady, that's for the Packers. The offensive coordinator's name is Brady as well. But I think him and Allen clicked as well because he's part of the organization. And I think Allen just said, man, I'm costing people their jobs right now.
Right.
Because Ken Dorsey is a heck of an offensive coordinator. I just think I think Josh Allen has just turned the page. But it's a good point, Wheels. It's a great point.
Yeah.
I just think if Cleveland's going to get tripped up, it's unfortunately going to be Flacco. That trips him up. ESPN was doing their favorites to win, and it was Ravens, 49ers, no surprise there.
No, not at all.
And Browns.
Wow. Oh,
I
I
was
love
like
that.
stoked
Yep.
when I saw that.
I mean-
it went Browns, and then it was a lot of Jeff Saturday, Marcus Spears doing there, and they stuck with Ravens, Niners, Browns, Bills, Cowboys. I think
Okay.
is the way that they all pretty much decided.
Makes sense.
As long as it's not Dallas
Yep.
I didn't see
or
the Chiefs.
Philly
Yeah.
Yep.
or the Chiefs.
And the
I'm
Chiefs
fine.
weren't even
Me too.
in their top
Same.
5.
Yeah.
Same.
Right?
Same.
And I
Sorry,
love
Mom.
that.
Sorry, Mom. Love you.
I love that it was Ravens, Browns, Bills, so 3 AFC
Yeah.
teams fighting it out. Because I look at the NFC and Packers, God bless them, great job getting in. They're just not there yet, but
No.
they're almost
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
But yeah, I think I was going to go down to Dallas and San Fran.
Yep.
Is that it for you?
Yep.
Okay. Here you go, CB.
We love doing overtime.
We do. Okay. Mine are outside the box as well. Questions?
God, mine were boring.
No, the point
the
spread
point
ones
spread
were
was
good.
good.
Yeah, those ones were good. Obviously, this is about Caitlin Clark. Clearly.
You said you didn't have a shout out.
It's
but
not a
you have
shout-out.
You have a Whiteboard Wednesday
I
question.
do.
That's hilarious.
The only
Never
reason
change.
she doesn't
Never
have a
change.
shout out.
That's hilarious.
Yes. She's
Is-
going to be mentioned. Well, she hasn't played since
it is.
our last shout out. She plays tonight, everyone. So Monday, clearly
Oh,
she'll have a
you are
shout out.
killing me. That is a riot.
I have to.
That was funny.
Okay.
Yes.
So
we digress.
this quote was said by Rebecca Lobo the other night. Okay. I think she's the best offensive player we've seen in women's college basketball in the last 20 years since. Who did she say?
20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in my defense, I was
10.
13.
In your defense, okay.
I have no idea. It's up to you, Lori. It's all up to you.
CB that's a good defense. So you're good.
I'm going
to say-
DT, Diana
You are
Taurasi.
correct.
Yes.
You are correct. Well
DT.
done. Well done.
If if it's not Caitlin Clark, it's Diana Taurasi. I mean,
That's
I want to
what I
go
would
have
say.
dinner with her.
Right?
I want to go partying with her.
I
So,
mean, I'm all about it.
I love
all
it.
about it.
That's a good one.
Okay. So the next ones are so ESPN announced Fantasy Football Awards.
Yep.
Okay.
None of them were on my team.
So
Go
I'm
ahead.
going to ask you who you think were some of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you think was the fantasy MVP?
No, that one's easy.
Hold on, I'm having a brain fart.
Are we answering more than one, or are we
Yes,
showing-
more than one.
Okay,
So you don't have to give me your answers yet.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I follow directions really well. I do.
I don't give them.
Could
very
have
well.
been Tyreek Hill, but
Coulda.
boy, did he falter at the end of the year. All he had to do was catch some goddamn balls,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
stop it, Lori.
You digress.
Ah,
Are you good, CB?
cost me the fantasy
Yes.
football
Hold
championship.
on. Yep.
Do you need his name?
I'm blanking on a name.
I know you. I know who you're trying to think of.
Okay, I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. Fantasy football rookie of the year.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh, wait. Oh, wait. Hold on.
There's two.
wait.
There's two. One was actually on my team. The other one was on our waivers. Yep. Have to do it.
Good?
Oh, yeah. No,
Okay.
I've
And the
yeah.
last one, the waiver wire pickup of the year.
But in our league, do we just go?
No,
with-
just in general.
Well,
Like just think about draft day
yep.
and think about who was not picked until like a few games in, and then people were like, "Holy crap!"
Went off.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
That one's easy. Goddamn Carmen Schoolcraft. I don't know how she did that.
You can go for it, Lori.
All right.
Oh wait, I have one more.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
The fantasy's biggest disappointment of the year.
Oh, gosh.
I know you're gonna get this one.
Wait.
I think you both might
Oh.
actually.
I'm basing it too much on my team. Sorry.
It's not on your team. I don't.
Oh, he's not?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think he was.
Well, I really can't say him because he didn't kill me.
Disappointment. Oh,
And this doesn't
This
mean
is a
it's
good question.
no one that was injured, right?
No, nobody that was
Okay,
injured.
no one that's injured.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
I'm drawing a
He's
blank.
so
I'm
basically
totally
he's everyone. He's a top pick. Not nobody would take him first, but he's one. He'd probably be in the top 10, 15.
trying
And
to go through our draft.
and he was
Can you
an
give
got
us
it, I got
Can you
it.
give us a position?
running back.
Yep,
running back.
Yep. Got it. Yeah, that
I knew. I thought you'd get that.
That took me. I just wanted to go with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, no,
Because
not
he cost
Jalen.
me
Yeah,
too.
that would've been
He
good.
cost me fantasy league
All right.
championship.
You guys good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So the fantasy football MVP, Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey. Ding ding.
Did you guys
We
get
both
it?
Got that
Yep.
one.
Okay. Fantasy football's rookie of the year.
I
It's
had
not Puka.
I went with CJ Stroud or
CJ
Puka.
Stroud, but it's probably Laporta.
It's Laporta.
Oh my god!
I didn't even think of him.
I did. I was going Laporta, Stroud, and I picked
Yep.
Laporta in round 16.
Yeah. Yep. He is the fantasy rookie of the year.
All right, I had CJ Stroud. I wanted to go with Laporta,
Yeah.
but I'm like, no.
I mean, CJ Stroud's a good guess too.
Yeah.
That's a very good guess.
But Laporta was okay.
The waiver wire fantasy player of the year,
Puka.
Puka.
Nice.
I also had CJ Stroud because he was available. in
He
our
was, but most leagues nobody knew who the hell Puka was.
league. Nobody.
So no, if you do fantasy football and you picked him
Yeah.
in any of the rounds
in the rounds.
in
yeah,
the early
in the
rounds,
draft.
please let us know.
Yeah, please
because
let us know.
I
I had him for rookie. I should have just.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
when his stats came up after week 1, I'm like, who? I laughed.
Yeah.
I made a joke,
Yeah.
not a joke of him, just
Yep.
the name. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, and Puka, we forgotten about, and I'm
Yep.
like,
Yep.
I love the NFL draft. I don't even remember Puka
No.
getting
Yep.
drafted.
Had some
round
really-
5.
yep.
Some of his catches too were just friggin'
The
out.
dude is insane.
Yeah, he's
I
insane.
take my 7.5 out
Just
of
the
my
body,
mouth.
the body awareness.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And he uses
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
a stud.
Yeah, he is.
He's a
Yep.
stud.
Yeah.
I'll be
And-
taking him next year if he's available. I can
Yep.
tell you that.
I tell you what, there's
He's
some
gonna be a hot
great
commodity.
young receivers.
There are.
Yep.
Great young
Yes.
receivers.
Yes.
And the Texans have 2.
Yes, and more coming in the draft.
Yep.
So it's going to be heavy on receivers in our fantasy
Do
league.
you think that Tank Dell and Nico Collins can both go over 1,000 yards next year?
Yes.
Yes.
Me
If they
too.
stay healthy,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Yep.
Which
That was
is
a
key.
huge loss, Tank
Yeah.
Dell.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yep.
Little guy was tearing it up.
Yeah, he was.
Oh,
And
bad, dang.
the biggest fantasy disappointment, you all probably got it.
Yep.
It's
Austin
Austin
Eckler.
Eckler.
Yep.
Oh my God, was he awful?
Awful.
As soon as you said running back.
Yep. Awful.
I was going to say Jalen Hurts, but that's just because he cost me my championship. As did Tyreek
I mean, he's
Hill
probably up there.
and Chris Olave. Yeah, Puka, man. I'll go out and buy a Puka shirt tomorrow.
Same.
Hey, thank you for sticking through overtime.
Yeah, sorry
was
about that, guys.
Fabulous. We will be back on Monday at 5:30 for Martin Luther King Day. What a great day for a great man. But enjoy Wild Card Weekend, and Michigan Wolverines keep celebrating. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Caitlin Clark plays tonight, Peacock, 8 o'clock.